You're
Okay.
free to give out whatever information you want.
Born free.
We're back.
It's
I'm gonna
free
drink this
egg,
water,
you're
knowing
not
full and well it's not
swallow.
gonna help.
It's free real estate.
I like free real estate.
Anyway,
Alright.
continue on.
Kyron?
Yes, continue with what you were saying.
Fuck. Okay.
You were
Sorry.
gonna do something.
I am going to spend the rest of the day / evening in the center of town casting plant growth.
Okay. With your musics and your magics, you allow the land to be more fertile to allow better crop growth for the next year. A lot of people recognize the magic that you're producing, as some of the Fey creatures were present and with this type of magic to help grow their fields a little bit better, and they are much appreciated for you of it. In fact, they pay you the tithe that they would usually pay the Fey people for the year for this type of magic.
Oh.
They gather up the tithe, and Ginger, the shaman, actually comes over. She's, well, for your work here and helping us keep everything as stable as it is, this is for you and yours. A little bit extra for taking care of the Fey folk as well.
Oh.
You receive a bounty of 2,000 gold pieces.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
Damn.
Wow.
This is a little bit extra. Usually the tithe that we use this for, we would go out and buy things that the Fey folk would appreciate or like. Well, with them no longer being here, we can go ahead and give this, plus a little bit of extra for dealing with them as you did. So this is what we came up with. It's not harming us in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
This is the extra gold we would usually have reserved for such things. We have a very good trade going with other surrounding towns, a little bit of Dwightswold as well. Some with the kingdom itself and a couple places over the border. But this is just a way of saying thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Phileas will spend his time going through the assorted random gems, finding as many as are like fiery red as he can, and affixing them to the handle of his working for the dragon tooth dagger.
Okay.
Dragon tooth daggers for Ezra.
Okay. At one point at night, by the way, Phileas, I'm assuming you're in the inn room, or where would you be at?
I'd be doing it inside the inn room.
You hear a knocking coming at your door.
Come in.
Door opens up and steps in the white furred ferret figure of Professor Blackout, Darian Blackout. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh no, just working on something for one of my friends. We slayed a dragon on the way here, so I was trying to make a dagger from one of its fangs.
Quite the exciting tale. He comes up and kind of plops himself on one of the sides of the bed as he gives you a very curious look and stares for almost an uncomfortable amount of time.
Is everything all right?
Oh, I'm very sorry. You just remind me of someone. What's your name, child?
Oh, Phileas. Phileas Flintlock.
Phileas Flintlock. I see. Well, my mistake then. You just remind me of someone that I remember back in the day. I do apologize, but you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. And from what I saw whenever you were fighting against those cultists, you handle yourself pretty well.
I owe that to my master. Ever heard of Arcanist Flintlock?
I've heard the name. I have. Haven't heard much from him for a couple of years now, but I've heard of the man.
Well, he's the one who raised me.
I see.
If you don't mind, who was it I reminded you of?
An old forgotten friend and ally of the guild. Um, you wouldn't have known him. He's slightly younger than me, much older than you. Just a young mouse of a man trying to make his way out in the world with his wife.
Oh.
Unfortunately, they met their end several years back in a attack on a town they were in by the
Oh.
cultists. So,
Oh, my apologies.
oh, it's no reason to apologize. It's I've dealt with the sorrow and the grief, so I'm very much aware of that they're passing, regardless of how it may have came about. They're now in the graces of whatever afterlife there is. But more to the fact, he kind of sits down at your level. What was that you were using while you were fighting the cultists? It almost looked like well, he pulls out something from his own pack. It is a pepper box.
Oh, well,
6 cylinders in total.
Phineas will reach into his. He normally puts everything away into the bag of holding when he's not out adventuring, but he pulls out the Flintlock Mark One, as he's named it. It's essentially it's essentially a pepper box infused with arcane nature. See, I've created glass wands to fill in the barrels, and I'll do an example. I'll cast dancing lights with it. As you see, when I pull the trigger, it casts the spell I have in mind. Unfortunately, I did want to be a wizard, but magic doesn't come to me, so I do my magic through items.
I mean, that is fairly unique in the way you've built that. I mainly deal in black powder and, the sorts myself, but I didn't think about infusing with the arcane magics of tools of the trade. That's actually fascinating what you've got there,
Thank you.
Master Flintlock.
Oh, I wouldn't call myself that yet.
You're well on your way. You, you've got a spark in you, and I would love to just, when all this entire mess is over, where we can just sit down and have a bit of a chat. Maybe exchange some schematics a bit and see if we can help improve each other's work.
That sounds wonderful. As nice as the arcane firearm is, I have wanted to dabble in more mundane. What's I don't want to call it mundane because it's the black powder guns, firearms, such as the regular pepper box, such as yours.
If it's something that you're interested in, I'd be more than happy to give you some pointers on how to make one.
Oh, please.
They're not that awfully hard. But I'm more of an expert in prior technology and ruins. Um, in fact, well, no, you'll have to wait until tomorrow to see what I have in mind. But I dabble much more in, well, automata.
Oh, I I well, quite like the arcane firearm. Phileas will stand up from the chair, take a step back, and summon the turret inside the room.
Oh, you!
This is well, this is my first invention. It's gone through a few changes. Um, I'm not exact. I haven't really named it yet, but so far I've just been calling it the turret.
Fairly well made. I think you're gonna be relatively surprised tomorrow when we begin our journey. I'll introduce you to good old. I gave him quite the interesting little name. Good old Steel Buttus.
Oh, I look forward
You'll,
to meeting him.
you'll see what I mean. But in the meantime, he clasps his hands together. I will go ahead and leave you for the night, but it was good talking to you, Phileas.
You too. I look forward to working with you.
I look forward to working to you as well. He gets up, walks out, gives you one last lingering look, bit of a almost as if he's trying to recall images in his mind before giving you a warm smile, closing the door behind him and leaving.
Hmm.
Anyone else needing or wanting to do anything?
How
I
long
wanted-
is? You go first, Zeroth.
Okay. I wanted to talk to the kobolds and see how their week went.
Okay. I'm assuming this is going to be in your in room. So
Yeah.
Biscuit and Egg are both just happily jumping on the bed, just enjoying themselves at this time when you're trying to approach them.
Did y'all have a good week while we were gone?
Biscuit turns her up over and just gives you a big wide grin. Yeah. So we cleaned. Were we able to cook a little? And Akon's like, well, she let us cook a little bit, but she didn't let us touch the knives. Oh yeah, she let us touch. We didn't get to play with the sharpie pointy things.
Oh no. I'm glad y'all had fun.
We had lots of fun. She's very scary when she wants to be. She's so nice. Yeah, she got really mad when we did the Biscuit grabs Egg by the maw and closes it shut. Shut up!
I also wanted to ask them, did Grandpa ever talk about the Devourer at all when they were around him?
They look up, look at each other for a second. Biscuit still holding Egg's mouth closed as they kind of give each other a thinking to each other look. Let me go ahead and see if they recall any sort of information. They both look up and simultaneously go, "No." But Egg is more of a
Okay. Well, if you ever remember anything, just let me know, okay?
yeah.
I let them go back.
Eat.
My
I let them
God.
go back to jumping on the bed.
All right, and they continue playing and jumping on the bed. Who's next?
How long would the walk be to what was the portal?
Would
For the
be
Feywild?
about a 45-minute jaunt.
Okay. So everybody else is doing anything. I'll tell Felix. Okay, Felix. Hey, listen. I'm gonna go to the portal where we entered the Feywild. I think I'm gonna stay my night there.
Do you need someone to come with you? It's dangerous to be apart.
Well, if you want to come with me, you can.
I might as well. Didn't have much planned tonight. Might just do some stargazing. Pass the time.
Sounds like a good idea. It'd be better to have company for that as well.
Agreed.
Go ahead and make a survival check with advantage to navigate your way through the forest.
Which 15.
Okay. It's above a 10, so within 45 minutes you traverse through the forest back to the original place where the gate should be. Mind you, as you're walking through the forest, you've noticed a couple things. It's lost not really a luster, but just an air of mystique to it that you've been so used to all the years that you've been here. It's oddly quiet. Not in the sense that there's not noise. You can still hear the cicada in the wind, the rustling of beetles in the grass, some foxes yipping in the distance. But it's devoid of the usual sounds of bell-like laughter, sparkling lights fading in the distance, maybe a little grumbling of a gremlin somewhere nearby. All that's gone. It's almost too quiet in a way. As you approach the area where the portal used to be, the stone archway has crumbled in on itself. Pieces of it scattered throughout the opening where it once stood. You can see that on the inside of most of the brick and mortar that it's been scorched, as if some sort of explosion took place when the portal closed. And the more you look at it, the more you see that there was a bit of an explosion that happened around the portal, as bits and pieces of grass have been cindered and smoldered into ash. What would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna start grabbing some of the pieces, kind of just laying them out around where it was,
Okay.
kind of like a circle.
In the meantime, I got a perfect bit of music to play with this. Alright. You begin gathering up the pieces. Are you trying to rebuild the archway?
No, just putting him out in a circle, almost like a kind of like a summoning circle in a sense.
Alright. You gather up pieces of brick. You put them up into a small little, almost like a fairy circle, if one would think. Except without mushrooms, it's stone. The moon above shines down half full, what light gives you as you begin work. Eventually, a complete circle is there in front of you.
No amount of magic could ever bring this back for now. It's gonna kind of sit towards the like in the middle of it slightly.
You sit in the middle.
Just look up the moon.
Even with the connection severed here, portal being gone, the absence of Fey folk, still feel an odd draw to it. A place that's gone, but not quite gone. At least not yet. As you sit there, as you stare up at the moon, unbeknownst to you, little bits of fungal growth begin to sprout their way through the cracks of the brick. The grass around you slowly turning green. And as the last bit of the mushrooms grow and form a circle around you, it's as if you feel a hand on your shoulder. You hear Titania's voice in your head. It'll be all right, love. One day it'll be back as it were. The presence lingers there for just the slightest of moments before it reluctantly pulls away. A shade of what that hand once was now in that feeling on your shoulder.
Felix would probably just Zealandar smiling for a second before he starts sobbing slightly. Just kind of his arms wrapped around his legs.
Felix is just gonna sit down next to Linaris and just put a hand on his shoulder quietly.
Thank you, Felix.
You're welcome, Linaris.
We're gonna get your family back. I'm gonna make sure of that. What you've been given, we can't let this chance go for that.
Hey, and don't worry. You'll get to see your other mother again someday. We'll make sure of it. Even if it takes 100, 200, or maybe 1,000 years, I'll see that. They'll come back.
Thank you.
What are friends for?
Yeah. But your family's more important right now.
They can
Hopefully
handle
you can-
themselves.
Well, even if they can, hopefully we'll be able to get there soon enough so nothing can happen.
Hopefully.
All right. Is there anything else the two of you wish to do before settling down for the night?
I don't.
Okay. Meanwhile, is there anything else anybody else wishes to do before the night ends?
Ezra, while in his room, is going to just sit down on the bed, and he is seeing that he's now away from Dwightswald and pretty far away. He's just going to try to, with a snap of his finger, try to spawn the wall or the entrance, see if it works.
With your connection that you feel strongly, even with this distance from Dwightswald, you try to reach out to that essence. Let me go ahead and bring up your theme real quick. There's a tug in the direction of Dwightswald, and you feel the reverberation of that heartbeat, but it's distant, muted and faded. And as you try to dig your fingers into that connection, it's just not strong enough. You're far too far away from Dwightswald to get any sort of opening or portal to open for you here. It seems that this ability has a mileage on it, where you can only summon it within a certain radius of Dwightswald.
He's just going to sigh, think back. He kind of pictures himself into that room where he grew up. He
You
just
see
kind of just look
flashes.
up.
You see flashes of memory filter past, of a mother and father giving you attention, loving gifts, little toys to play with you in this little cozy room within a laboratory filled with knowledge and unknown things happening within the walls. But a family that loves you nonetheless. A feeling in your gut twists, knowing that you never really got to say goodbye.
He's just gonna look up to the ceiling. He's just say, "Mom, Dad, I will avenge you. But I wanted you to know I found a new family. But I will not forget you." And then he's gonna walk out to Kyron while he's playing his music. He's just gonna sit with him.
That knot in your stomach slowly loosening as you're in the presence of a person you respect and enjoy the company of most in the absence of family. You listen to him play his instrument and the growth around you, the magic emanating from his otherworldly abilities. just for a moment, it feels like things are going to be okay. On that note, I'm going to call a 5-minute break as we get food, water, use the bathroom, and continue afterwards into the next section of the game here.
You know, get a tissue.
Oh my
Told-
god, that ferret knew my parents.
Told you I was going to make
That's
people
exactly
cry.
what I was thinking.
I
That's
told
what
you
I
I
was
was going to make people cry tonight.
And I didn't ask their fucking names.
You sure didn't. Anyway,
Mhm.
I'm going to go ahead and use the bathroom myself. 5-minute break, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's see, an emotional night for Aphelios, kinda. An emotional night for Linaris and Ezra.
I was just making a dagger and then he came and like it's like huh.
I was really hoping that wall would open.
I bet. I'm still very scared of what the fuck that saving throw was for.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out.
If out of character guess, a complete out of character guess, my guess is a scrying orb.
Scrying orb.
Yeah, or a scrying spell. Essentially, if you know someone, you create an invisible like eyeball near them. That's it, like the size of like a crystal ball, and